Hi, it's been a while. How are you? For those of you that don't know me, my name is Vanessa. I live in Sweden. I'm an American living in Sweden. I have 3 kids, and one of my children are autistic. So this channel is always referencing something that has to do with relationships, we talk about sex, we talk about food, we talk about nutrition, we talk about vitamin therapies, we talk about family, we talk about life in general. So it's nice to see you again. Welcome back. I did miss you guys. So as you know, my point of reference, it's always things that happen in our own family or based around the friends and family and situations that I find myself throughout the week. So of course I want to share them with you because as you know, I believe in cutting the learning curve in half. So yesterday in Sweden, it's a very important day in most Nordic countries and throughout Europe because it's the first day of the year in where we have the same amount of light hours and the same of dark hours. And it's the first day of the year in which this happens. So for us, this means from this day forward, sunshine will overtake darkness. Light overtakes dark. And it's a funny thing because it's a great segue into our conversation. Today, we're going to be talking about vitamin D deficiencies. And I'll tell you why it's so important. Because I am a Florida girl. I was born in New York. I was raised in Puerto Rico, which is a fantastic little Caribbean island, as we all know. And I was raised in the sunshine state of Florida. Vitamin D deficiencies is not anything I ever heard of because, as I said, I come from a fantastic state that is nicknamed the Sunshine State. So coming to Sweden was all kind of fabulous because when I first moved here was summer. So of course, in Sweden, in the summertime, we have about 20 hours of day time, which is spectacular. The downside is that over our late fall and winter months, we end up having between 3 to 4 months of darkness. So this is why vitamin D deficiency is no joke because most of the people that get affected by vitamin D deficiency are the elderly, are infants, particularly those that are solely breastfed. So the American Pediatric Academy suggests that children that are solely breastfed should have 400 IUs a day of some kind of vitamin D supplement. Talk to your doctor because I am not one. Also, people that work and are inside all day and people that work at night, so they end up sleeping all day. So what is so interesting about vitamin D and vitamin D deficiencies? We're going to talk about what they do for you and how they help you live your most optimum life. What does vitamin D actually do for you? Well, it actually does several things. First, it helps maintain healthy bones and teeth. Nice white teeth, right? Secondly, it supports immune function. It allows for your brain and your nervous system to work at its absolute best. It also regulates your insulin levels, which is a fantastic quality for people that actually need aid in their diabetes management. It also is instrumental in the support of lung function and cardiovascular health. Now, why is this so important, you think? Well, I live here in Sweden, and I can tell you that the winter blues, or as they call it, SAD stands for seasonal affective disorder. And what this basically means that every year at the same exact time for 2 or 3 months, you have moderate to perhaps severe depression. All things being equal, meaning you have the same diet, the same exercise routine. The only thing that's different is that all of a sudden there's light sensitivity, there's perhaps a difference in your brain biochemistry, and a vitamin D deficiency. Now, how do we get vitamin D? One of the best ways to get vitamin D is, of course, naturally, through diet and also through sunshine. So basically, here is the 4th sunshiny day here in Sweden. And if you are outside, bare skin, and get 5 to 10 minutes of sun exposure 2 to 3 times a day, it basically fulfills your vitamin D requirements. When I first moved here to Sweden, one of our very good friends, Dr. Pelle Lindqvist, he happens to be an incredible OBGYN and has written countless of papers on vitamin D deficiency. And one of the things that he recommended is that I and my son, actually Zachary, take, as you can see here, vitamin D supplements. 2,000 I use every single day. He's an incredible researcher, and if you have a moment to look up some of the topics in which he's discussed, go ahead and do it. The third source of vitamin D, obviously, I always love the natural source more than anything. So you can get it from fortified cereals that are fortified with vitamin D. Eggs are an incredible source of vitamin D, especially the yolk. Dairy, cheese, you can even get it from soy milk and regular milk, obviously. Like any type of fatty fish, like salmon, mackerel, or tuna, 7 ounces 2 times a week, you fulfill your vitamin D requirement. And obviously, like anything else, the way that things work best is synergistically. So it's a combination of food and supplements, especially for me here in Sweden, because as you saw, we don't always have the most amount of sunshine on a regular basis. So it's always best to combine efforts and make our life as synergistically as possible. So let's go over a short recap of what vitamin D actually does for you. Vitamin D, as we just learned today, helps maintain healthy, strong bones and teeth. It regulates insulin levels, which is fantastic for people that need aid in diabetes management. It's also great for a healthy immune system, and it helps you with your brain and your nervous system to make sure that everybody's rocking as it should. It affects people that are elderly, also the very, very infant young that are solely breastfed, people that live on the latitude line, that are in predominantly super cold countries most of the time of the year, people that work inside and have minimal to no sun exposure. How do we get vitamin D? There are several ways. One, through the sun. Who doesn't love the sun? I mean, I'm such a Florida girl. I love sunshine. 5 to 10 minutes of bare skin sun exposure 2 to 3 times a week. Food-wise, like I said, fatty fish like tuna, mackerel, or salmon, 7 ounces 2 times a week. Fortified cereals, orange juices, dairy, cheese, eggs, especially the egg yolk, and taking a vitamin D supplement. So between 200 IUs to 2,000 IUs, depending on where you are in the spectrum, whether you're an infant or elderly. It really benefits everybody. Winter blues on the sly, that is no joke. And the thing that you have to remember about that is that it brings in mild to moderate depression. With all things being equal, it happens the same time every single year for 2 to 3 months with no change in your diet or in your workout routine or anything else that you're doing. Just that all of a sudden it's dark outside and you are like melancholy, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me, sad. That means you have a vitamin D deficiency. So now we have all the fantastic information to do something about it. So as always, check with your doctor, because I am not a doctor girl. I can play one on TV, but I am not a doctor. And try it. It was so good to talk to you again, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye. Be good.